Welcome back for round 2 of Salvation Road. We've got all of our locations revealed. They're all on threat level 0, so we're okay there. Unfortunately, Dante got delayed, so he's going to lose one of his actions just to stand him back up. We only have one raider on the fence line right now, so that's great. That's a good thing. Now the first player token has been passed down here to the team of Frida and Melly. They're both here at Historic Maldito, so I need to figure out what I want to do and who I want to move first. I'm going to have Melly go first and have her grab 1 ammo. And for her second action, I'm going to have her move back to the compound. And for her free transfer, I'll have her transfer that ammo to the truck. And that's the end of her actions. And then we have Dante and Hank to choose from. I'll have Hank go first. But every time Hank moves to the compound, we're going to add a marauder. Now's a good time since we only have one on the fence line. First, I'll have him grab another fuel for his first action, and then move back to the compound for his second action, and use his free transfer to the truck to send these 2 fuel into the supply truck. And we'll add another marauder thanks to Hank being followed back to the compound by the marauder. For Frida, I'll have her pick up 1 of the ammo belts. And for her second action, move back to the colony. Or the compound, sorry. And use her free action to add that to the truck. There's 3 of them there now, so I'll put 1 down below the 3 times line to represent that I have 3 ammo. So we have 3 ammo and 2 fuel in the truck. That'll conclude her turn. Now we have Dante, who has to use his first action to stand back up, and I'll go ahead and risk it and take 1 wound to scout. And for scouting, you draw off the bottom of the deck, and we see we're going to need food along with fuel for our next road card. And that's both actions for Dante. He doesn't have any items to send back this time. Now we move into our threat phase. The only person outside the compound right now is Dante. His threat's 0, so he's there. So that's only 1 dice. Dante is stuck outside the compound, and he has to see if any of these marauders come by and cause him any damage. He's going to take 1 wound. I'm going to draw a wound for Dante and add another to his card. And we can see what situation we have currently. We got to get rid of some of these wounds off of Dante. He's got 4 already, 2 more and he's dead. Hank still has 3 open spots. Frida, wide open, still has all 5. And Melly has 3. That gets us through our threat stage. Now we go into the apocalypse stage, and it is a death card, Acid Rain. 2-player game. We're going to add 2 marauders to the fence line, and we still have 7 in the draw pile, so we're okay right now. Soon we're going to have to start dealing with them on the fence line. Each character must drop a resource or discard a resource from the supply. All we could do was watch as the food we needed so desperately sizzled and melted away. Characters at the compound ignore these effects. Well, that's good for me because I have 3 characters at the compound. So Dante, each character must drop a resource. He doesn't have any resources to drop, or discard a resource from the supply. There's 1 resource in the supply, it's ammo, and it will get discarded. That Apocalypse card did not hurt us too bad at all. For the refresh phase, we'll take the marker off, which means that action is open again. Mellie's at the compound, so she's not going to block anything at any of the locations. She would block it if she was there. That's going to end this round for us. Our current situation, we need ammo and food along with fuel. Again, we don't know the totals yet. We would have to explore, which is taking 2 wounds to flip these cards over in order to see what's going on underneath. We got a lot of ammo, and we got some health packs or first aid packs and some food there, some food here. This one's empty and it's going to need searched again to see what items are available. And we're starting to get marauders on the fence line. So far there's still bikes, so we're not into the dangerous territory yet where 1 card could turn over and end the game for us by using all the marauders up that are available in the pool. That's all for this round. The new round starts. The first player token will move to Dante and Hank. Dante has a lot of wounds. I need to get him back so he can heal. Nobody has a med pack. That's the most efficient way to heal wounds that are face down. I'll have Dante go first. I'm going to move the threat marker because I'm going to search and find 2 fuel and 1 first aid kit. And for his second action, I'm going to move him back to the compound. Next, I'm going to have Frida go. First, I'm going to have her use her action on her player card to discard 1 wound, whether it's revealed or unrevealed, from another character at her location. Dante is here right now. I'm going to discard his revealed wound because those are much harder to get rid of, which will leave him with 3 face down wounds on his card. And to prep for the next round, I will move her to Maldito Motors to try and pick up a couple of food in the next round. That takes us to Hank. What do we want to do with Hank? I'm going to move Hank to the satellite station and have him pick up one of these fuel tokens. And that'll finally lead us to Melly. And if we send her to a location in the refresh phase, it's going to cover up the special ability. So I'll use her in a different way. I'll have her rest. You can only do that in the compound, which allows you to remove 1 face down wound, which leaves her only with the 1 face up one now. And I'm going to have her fight. I don't want to use the ammo yet until I know how much I need. Have her fight, and to fight, you take 1 of the marauders off of the fence line, and since she is a survivor, she's going to have to roll 2 of the black dice to see if she takes any wound. If she was a hero, she would only roll 1 when fighting. She's going to have to roll both these black dice. If we get really unlucky, she could take enough wounds to die right here. But we didn't. She only took 1 wound. That's going to be her final action, and she's going to take a wound. You can see Hank still has a couple open spots. If you have spots that are filled in by resources and you take a wound, you have to drop the resource in order to put the wound on the circle. And if all the circles are filled up with wounds at any time, the character dies. That'll bring our action phase to an end. We'll now move into the threat phase. We have 2 characters that are outside the compound. Both of them are locations that have a threat level of 0, so they'll each have to roll just 1 dice. First we'll start with Hank at the satellite station, and he will take no wound. And then Frida at Maldito Motorworks, or Motors, and she also doesn't take a wound. That's a couple of really good rolls there. We had a really good threat phase there, didn't take any wounds. Now we go into the apocalypse phase, and it's war. Marauder Assault. 2-player game, 4 marauders will be added to the fence line. Which means our first buggy with marauders is going to be on the fence line, which leaves us only 4 in our draw pile for marauders. See if we can get the camera to focus in. There we go. Also, the characters at the compound take 1 wound. They came when we least expected it. We wouldn't last much longer if we stay here. Cancel 1 marauder placement for each character at the compound who takes a second wound. So each character is going to take a wound, and I could inflict a second wound on them. For each time I do that, then I would not have to add a marauder, but I have 3 ammo in supply. I'm not going to have them take any extra wounds. Dante is going to have to take 1 wound. And Melly will take another wound. Dante's back in trouble again with 4 total wounds. Our apocalypse phase is complete. We don't have any locations that need to be refreshed. And that will end this round. We are set up okay. We need a lot more fuel. We only have the 1 available up here. Hank's got 1, but as soon as we return him to the compound, we're going to add another marauder. Frida is over here. She can grab us some food, but we have to take care of all these wounds that Dante has. Got some choices we're going to have to make in the next round of Salvation Road. Beginning the round, we'll pass the first player marker to the Frida and Melly. Now Melly's back here at the base. I need to get her out of there. But her thing won't mess with the location until the end of the refresh phase. I'm going to move her out of the compound to the motorworks for 1. Pick up a food for her second action. And here, before or after performing an action, you may resolve a free move. I'm going to use her free move to take her right back to the compound. That got used. While she's at the compound, I'll use her free transfer to send the food that she picked up to our supply truck. And that will use up her actions for her turn. And now we have Dante and Hank to choose from. I'm going to have Hank go first. I'm going to have him grab this first aid kit for his first action, and then move back to the compound for his second action, which causes another marauder to be added to the fence line. And I'll use his free transfer to transfer both his fuel and health pack to the truck. I'll move one of these fuel down to the ×3 because we had 3 in there. And that will take care of Hank's actions. For Frida, we need to build up supplies and we need to see what's there. I'm going to have her search for her first action, which will take the threat up. Now we have a +1 there. During her search, she finds 2 first aid packs and another food. And I will have her move, or should I just grab some food? Yeah, we don't know how much food we're going to need. I'll have her grab a food for her second action. I'm okay with leaving her out there right now because she doesn't have any wounds. We'll have Dante, who is our last character that needs to go. I'm going to have him take his free transfer first from the truck and take the first aid pack. And then use it immediately for his first action. And that will remove 3 face down wounds from Dante. He still has 1 action left, and I will... Oh no, I can't do that. Ooh. This is bad. I made a mistake. Because I cannot grab this and use it at the same time in order to shoot. Well, I'll just take a chance here and fight. Remove 1 of the marauders. Dante only has to roll 1 when fighting the marauders because he is one of the heroes, and he's going to take 1 wound. Dante takes another wound, now has 2. That'll finish our player's action phase. And that'll roll us into the threat phase, where Frida is going to have to roll 2 dice because of the +1 to the threat at Maldito Motors. She needs to roll 2 of the dice and we'll take 1 wound. Frida takes a wound to end the threat phase. Now we go into the apocalypse phase. Now I only have 4 marauders in my draw pile, and we'll see if my oversight and big mistake ends the game for us right here. Pestilence, infection. In a 2-player game, we will add 2 marauders. So my oversight didn't cost us the game, but it puts us in dangerous territory because there's only 2 marauders left. I'll put them down here, you can see them at the bottom. In our draw pile. Each character reveals 1 wound and then resolves all revealed wounds. For the healthy, a bit of influenza is no big deal. For the injured, it's a different story. Characters may discard a med to let up to 3 characters at their location ignore these effects. Nobody is currently carrying a med, so no one can ignore it. So each character is going to reveal 1 wound and then resolve all wounds. Start off with Dante and reveal 1 wound, and it is a critical wound, which means he immediately takes an additional face down wound. And then we have Hank revealing 1 wound, and fortunately for Hank, it's another injury token. Those have no additional effect. Frida reveals her wound, and that one's a different one. That's a painful wound. So this one, it depends on where the character's at. If she is at a location, it increases the threat by 1. If she's at the compound, it would add a marauder to the fence line. She's outside of the compound, so that's going to make our threat go up to 2 at this location. And I'll flip over this one for Millie, and that is going to cause her to be delayed. Now her sprained wrist would also activate, but she doesn't have any items to drop. Millie will become delayed, and that will take care of the apocalypse phase. We'll refresh Maldito Motors, and that'll be the end of this turn. Now this location's got a threat of 2. We need to get somebody up here to scout so we can see what our 3rd and final road card is going to have for resources on it. We have 3 fuel and 3 ammo in the truck, 1 food. We're going to need a lot more fuel, most likely. Maybe a few more ammo, we don't know. We have to deal with these marauders because we only have 2 left down here. Nobody seems to be horribly injured. Dante has 3. Well, Melly has 3 and she can only take 5, so she's over halfway there. So we got some wounds to deal with. We need more supplies. We need more fuel, and there's only the 1 fuel out there, and that's not going to be enough. We need to search some more locations to find some more items. We got a lot of work to do, and this pile is getting down. It's on its way, so we need to be more efficient in what we do and get started with our next round.